The name Booterix comes from my great grandfather started a joke shop in Sweden, kind of like a Spencer's.
Okay.
So it was like a sex store slash joke shop, like a place you could buy a whoopee cushion,
Dude,
essentially.
I love the song even more. I didn't know that's what it was. I didn't know that's the origin. Is that what it is? Today on Loves Music, I have Chicago rapper Wilhelm Duke joining me. His smash high-energy single, Booterix, hooked me at first listen. He blends trap music, classic hip-hop, and speed rap into one of the more interesting sounds I've heard in quite a long time. You're gonna love his music, and you're gonna dig this conversation. Make sure you like and subscribe, and please, tell somebody who loves music. Wilhelm Duke, man, I am thrilled to have you on the show, brother. Thanks for joining us all the way from Chicago.
Julian, thank you for having me. I'm happy to have this conversation and share a love for music.
Yeah, man. So where do we begin? I'd stumbled upon the first thing that hooked me. Your song Booterix. Am I saying it correctly?
Booterix, but essentially yes. Yeah.
Bro, Heat Seeker. I played it, man, and it was infectious, man. I played that and I was like, all right, I get this is worth a conversation. And I felt, and I don't want to speak for you, but I felt like kindred spirits when we connected on the phone to plan the show. Vibed immediately. So being able to talk about your work is a real joy for me right now. So I listen to Booterix. Is that the single you're pushing now?
So that's part of a collection of 8 singles that are it's an album, but I've been rolling them out like on, Spotify and distribution as singles. But yeah, so All Blues and Yellows, and that's just me like really trying to tap in and explore more of my my Swedish roots because my dad's an immigrant.
Okay.
The name Booterix comes from my great grandfather started a joke shop in Sweden, kind of like a Spencer's.
Okay.
So it was like a sex store slash joke shop, like a place you could buy a whoopee cushion.
Dude,
essentially.
I love the song even more. I didn't know that's what it was. I didn't know that's the origin. Is that what it is?
That's now it's no longer a business now. Like it's defunct now. But but yeah, just kind of like thinking about that, and then and then my wife who did the visual, like she loves doing like different like race play infusions. So obviously there's like Black girls in the Swedish, get up and they're dancing and
love it. I love it.
Yeah, and then there's some history about that in the verse, and then overall just some like I'm getting hype on a beat. And I was actually kind of nervous about that song because it's very repetitive with the hook.
As it should be. It's a fun song,
Thank you.
You're not like healing the world with Booterix. It's supposed to be fun.
No, not at all.
Booty shaking joint. You're supposed to play it loud, in your car. It's not like
and the word, it's like the Swedish word itself, but like when Americans say it, it sounds like like butts, what I mean? Basically an ass. So it's like, all right,
that tracks. Just in the video.
But yeah, no, so that's one of 8, but All Blues and Yellows, but that Booterix is definitely like that's probably the most fun record,
right,
on all of the 8 songs for sure.
Yeah. So one thing about listening in light of preparing for a podcast or a show like this is you start by listening for the purpose of content, and then the music that you really like, you start to slowly listen to it objectively. And you start thinking about comps, and you're like, well, who do they sound like? Who can I compare them to when I explain the sound? And it's like literally every time I tried to put you in a box, there'd be a new layer to you. It's like, oh, he's the, and hear me out. Oh, he's the white rapper. No, he's not just a white rapper. He's like actually spilling. Oh, now he's singing. So, all right, so now there's another dimension to him. Oh, he has club songs. Okay, so he's like the fun white rapper. No, he actually has deep introspective songs. So he's not just that. So there's just all these multifaceted like layers to the music. So like you need to sit with the content for like a week to adequately like figure out who you are. And then you don't really have it figured out,
Honestly, music to my ears. First of all, thank you for doing the homework. Yeah, I mean that's I do try to experiment a lot and dive into some, as many lanes that I feel like I can touch or get into, but like do it well, I guess. So not every lane, but
Sure. Would it be safe to say that your trademark is the speed rapping? Because I mean, I feel like that it feels like that's where you're most comfortable. You kind of like the machine gun style with rapping with triplets and everything. And
Yeah, I would say yes. I mean, that's what I've been working towards and like trying to do. I don't know if that would be like an objective thing yet, but like ideally, that's what I'd be like. Yeah, that's what I'm working towards for sure.
So would it be a safe assumption to say that, because I know you have an affiliation with Twista, you worked with him in the past. He could kind of co-sign, kind of co-signed you early on. Could you give us a little background on that?
So shout out to my wife because it was the end of 2021, and she said, "Hey, Twista's looking for a personal assistant. Like, you should apply." So I emailed right away, sent my resume in. Didn't hear anything back for like a month, and then all of a sudden I get a DM from Toxic, who is like Toxic Productions, and he's got a lot of placements on the Kamikaze album. So like he produced a lot of the records that like Kanye West didn't like produce, right?
Okay.
And he says, "Hey, like, then I have a FaceTime interview, and then I go out to the studio in New Lenox for like another interview. And then I meet Twista, and then I worked for him as a personal assistant for about like a year. Learned some really like mind-blowing things about the music industry, things that definitely like changed like how I approach like the art, and then for sure how I like navigate, like the industry, like business wise."
What do you think was the most?
But yeah, there's a lot. I mean, there's a lot to talk about with that. So I'm just like, I'm trying to keep my shit straight. But like I got to have some experiences in the studio. Got to have some experiences. I mean, I've opened up for him 2 times. Once in Cincinnati, that was in 2022, and then just like a few months ago at in Aurora, Illinois, at a place called the Piazza.
Cool.
Besides being personal assistant, I also got to like produce like a handful of projects. Like we were working on some like TV/series type things that were going to get pitched. Nothing like got off the ground, but it was like really cool experience to like be in the room with other people and try to figure out, essentially like some television stuff, and then also there was like an NFT deal, but
okay.
But yeah, no, there's a lot, but
no, it sounds like a great experience. How long ago was this?
So this was 2022 through till the end of 2023.
Oh, this is like fairly recently, like post quarantine. And all right, so while you're doing music, you're like working with Twista, because looks like your albums like stagger years. Like I think your albums all come out in like 21, 23. Then you have one coming out this year.
No, yeah, I've been living in Chicago since. Well, first of all, I've been a fan of Twista forever.
Yeah. Like
loved Twista. I was like, 11, 12-year-old and my friends sleeping over, and we'd watch Spit Your Game, Talk Your Shit remix, by Biggie. Like, when his parents were asleep, watching like hip hop videos that I guess, we probably didn't have access to. They didn't want to let us see, but
yeah.
That definitely like my first introduction to Twista was that song, right? As like a young kid. But moved to Chicago in 2012. Didn't become Wilhelm Duke. That's like my third artist name project. I was a solo artist before that. Then I was in a duo, but became Wilhelm Duke in 2019. And then I've tried to drop albums like almost every year. There's a few gaps.
Yeah. You've been really consistent for the last like 5-6 years, just from what I've seen on Spotify and Apple Music. Really consistent singles, albums, features. Really putting good people on the projects with you. I didn't mean to cut you off. I apologize.
No. I appreciate hearing that. Not everything's probably like the best of my ability, but I still just put it out.
Right.
I definitely have no problem putting out whatever it is, no matter what it sounds like, and worry about, maybe it's not the best record, get judged for it later. But
you can see the gradual growth though from the 2019 project. I would say post Elixir. By the time you got to the album with. I know Beast is in the title of one of the songs.
Berserker?
Oh, Battle Beast is called, I think.
Battle Beast. Yeah, I don't even rap that way so much anymore.
Right. I mean, that one got a rewind from me, so you can see the growth through the project. So by the time you get to Berserker, then you get to the album with you're on the front. There's like, I remember you're standing on the front. There's yellow behind you. I think the font's yellow. I forget the name of that. It was basically the most recent album.
Oh, okay, yeah.
From there,
Well,
with
yeah, I got Chrome Adrenaline, and
yeah,
then which is like an homage, obviously, to like Adrenaline Rush,
yeah.
and I got some fast songs on there, and then
Well, I actually like the first one. Not a movie is a banger. The one where you're
oh,
singing the
thank
hook.
you,
Yeah.
thank you. I
Yeah.
actually I performed that song for a competition last year to try to win either 10K or a Lollapalooza like stage slot. And I didn't win, but I definitely it was interesting. Like I had a perfect like rapport from the judges, and then I had the crowd singing the hook for Not a
Right.
Movie. But then I was still one of the 5 contestants that got cut. So that was just it was, I don't know, music industry stuff, whatever. But I love that song though. And yeah, I need to perform that more. I haven't performed it for a while.
Yo, you're like legit singing on there too. You're not like singing ironically, like trying to be funny. Like you're actually like legit singing. And I'm like, yo,
Thank
this
you.
dude got a bag. He got,
Thank you.
you know, he got a little
Thank you.
arsenal of skills, man. But the other thing I wanted to say that you do really well is you showcase your features really well. Not everybody can do that. Like somebody, you can tell when like an artist comes on and they're like, yo, buddy, I'll let you get a 16 on this. It's like, no, when you had like Dean Akbar come on a song, like he shines on the track with you. The song, I think his name is Bates. You guys were talking about two guys
Shout
from
out,
the
yeah,
Midwest. That's
Omaha, Nebraska. Yeah,
yeah,
thank you.
that's
Thank
a
you.
big tune. Last guy, Ramon Serrano. Am I saying his name correctly?
Yeah. Ramon
Yeah,
Serrano, shout out.
that
Very
song was
talented.
good. So like these guys are shining on tracks with you, complimenting you. I don't know how many other tracks you had with them prior to the project, but it's like by the time you get to like your recent album, the growth is like exponential. So by the time we get to Blue, I'm assuming Blues and Yellows is going to be a heat seeker, you know? So
Yeah. It drops
yeah.
the whole album as one thing drops July 27th. So that's like 2 Sundays from now,
Sure.
I believe. So
About the
that'll be
time this episode,
available.
about the same time this episode will come out.
Oh,
So
sick. That'll
timing
be
wise, it should
perfect.
line up. Yeah.
Hell yeah. No, that's
Yeah, man.
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
So moving on, man. So now we know what's going on now. We got all Blues and Yellows coming out. An homage to your Swedish roots. It's fun, it's bouncy, a little bit of deep introspection, I'm sure. It's going to be a
Oh,
multifaceted project. A lot of really good songs, fun beats and knocks, got a little thump in there too, a little bit of bounce to it. It's going to be a really cool project. Make sure you check that out. Take me back to pre-Chicago Wilhelm Duke, man. The first time you picked up a album, a cassette tape, or whatever. I don't want to age you, but like the first time you picked up some music and you really knew that it was special.
So I have some, yeah. So my earliest hip hop memories are the Wu-Tang Clan Ain't Nothing to Fuck With music video.
It's like grainy, choppy video.
Right. It's very grainy, but it's like they're all
Yeah.
together, and
Yeah.
they're all in it's like bombed out buildings
Yeah.
somewhere in
Yeah. Looks
obviously New York,
like
but
they made it with like a camcorder or something.
right. Very
Yeah.
very low budget, but like
Yeah.
impactful video.
Yeah.
And then my older brother and sister bought me Jay-Z's The Black Album.
Okay.
I don't remember what age I was that they got it for me, but I remember being kind of like, again, like, oh, he might be too young to, have this CD.
Yeah. But it's quite a gap.
Saying?
You figure Wu-Tang is like early 90s. Black Album is like middle 2000s.
Right. Yeah. So like basically just my exposures to hip hop before I really like dove into it. So like this is probably 9, 10, 11, 12.
Okay. Now, was it always hip hop or did you have other musical influences too? It's usually like a mix.
Yeah, definitely a lot of other musical influences. Like my dad was just into classical music. And then my brother and sister gave me a lot of great like alternative rock, grunge music, like from the late 80s, early 90s and stuff like that. Yeah, I want to say Wu-Tang Clan and Jay-Z, because those were some of the two things that I was exposed to. That was like, and then Twista shortly thereafter. And I guess Nas.
Sure. So when did you start actually like writing rhymes?
Oh, I didn't start writing rhymes until about 18 years, till I was 18 years old.
Oh, really?
I started freestyling at 16. We would freestyle over like Wiz Khalifa songs a lot when I was like 16, but I didn't start taking the craft of like bars and writing seriously until I was 18. So this would have been like, this would have been late 2011,
okay,
2012.
that makes sense. Okay.
Like a lot of hip hop that influenced me growing up before I started like doing my research on a lot of like the lexicon of hip hop. Was like, so like Wu-Tang, Jay-Z, Nas, T.I., Lupe Fiasco, Twista, Wiz Khalifa, Kid Cudi, some of those like Wiz and Cudi obviously later.
Yeah.
Bone Thugs a little bit too.
Yeah, Midwest. That makes sense.
And yeah, being in Omaha is a little bit of like, there's no like when I was coming up, there was no hip hop scene there. So it was like kind of void of culture. It's kind of like a black hole of culture in a way. So I've kind of always felt that my exposures to like hip hop were always kind of weird or odd, like where a lot of rappers like that I've talked to that have come up in Chicago, they were consuming everything.
Right, sure.
And they were listening to things before I was listening to it, right?
So it sounds like not only is there not a hip hop scene, there's not really like an independent music scene I find in like the smaller towns. Like, yes, you can go hear music, but in terms of there being like a scene where there's 10 bands playing like on a strip somewhere, like there's not really a scene.
Oh, no, nothing like that. I mean, Omaha, Nebraska has like Saddle Creek Records, which is like Bright Eyes, Conor Overs, The Faint, Cursive, Tilly and the Wall, a bunch of like those type of bands. But like hip hop, well, one rapper that I've always like mentor of mine early on, Articulate, but there's not really like a scene where there's like a bunch of rappers. Maybe now there is more so because I know there's like a couple promoters out of Omaha doing some good work. But like Houston Alexander is like also a rapper, but like mainly more of like a UFC guy, right? And then I guess King ISO underneath Tech 9, he's from Omaha as well, North Omaha.
Yeah, I mean, we're really getting into the weeds, though. I mean, you figure
that's what I mean. Like, when I say exactly, like it's very lacking. And that's why I was like, I knew I had to move to Chicago by 2012.
Like I remember I grew up in Philadelphia, so it was like a melting pot of music. There was a scene, it was diverse. It was like surprisingly progressive. Like I went to like a mixed high school, listening to everything. But I remember like I would go to like my parents, we would go to these like church retreats and I would meet somebody from like Rhode Island or Virginia and I'm playing like Fuji's The Score and it's like the biggest song on the radio and they're like, what's this? I'm like, what's this? And like literally like the whole middle of the country, unless you're in a major city, like you listen to like Tupac maybe and like Snoop Dogg and then like you didn't know any of them. You know what I mean? And this is probably 97, 98, 99, So I'm like, so what do you mean you never heard of Nas? Like, what do you mean? Like, you don't know who Capone and Noriega are? And they're like, no, like we know Tupac and Nirvana, like we don't listen to any other music.
I felt definitely in the 90s too. I felt like, unless it was mainstream, like Hollywood, like culture, especially music just traveled so much slower. So it's like by the time the Midwest got it,
Yeah. And that makes sense. And you see it too, like in styles and everything. Like you'll see everybody on like the East Coast wearing, the big baggy, like the big, huge baggy t-shirts and like do-rags. And then by the time they're wearing jerseys, people in like the middle of the country are wearing like the big baggy colorful t-shirts. So you can see like the evolution of the fashion. That's like a season.
It's so true. It's like 2004. It's like everybody in Omaha is dressing that way.
Yeah.
But like that was how people were dressing like late 90s already on the East Coast.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I know exactly what you're talking about. That's funny.
Right. Mm-hmm. That's awesome, man. So how did you get your first piece of like validation, right? Because it's weird for artists and like all genres. Like you go, like you're in your room, right? Well, just being an artist is weird, right? Because you hear music and you're and you're like, I think I can make this. I think I can make this thing.
Right.
And then you
try a bunch of times. It's like not the same.
And you're like, but you know it's in you, right? So take me to that first time you did it or performed or played a song that you recorded and somebody was like, bro, your stuff's good.
So when I was 18, I visited my brother in Chicago and we recorded some records. Very like avant-garde, my flow's all over the place. There's no like no consistency, no like rhythm, no real flow. It's very broken, like spoken wordy type records.
Okay.
So we cut those. And obviously like at the time it was just crazy hearing my voice on something next to music like this, like as a recording.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely felt good about it. And I guess, later back in Omaha, I'm bumping these tracks with my friends and we're like smoking weed and somebody drives by and they're like, who is that? And so that was like that's like the first piece of validating when it comes to like a record I had some validation maybe earlier from like freestyles, like, oh, you're dope. Oh, that was, you know what I mean? Like just like with buddies, like smoking weed, listening to songs, right? I would say for years there was it was like a definitely a struggle. Like people knew I was talented, like I knew I was talented, but like the music just wasn't there. So like I don't think the validation was there obviously for the music, but like maybe for just, you know, like the business acumen or how I
Mm.
carried myself as a person. But definitely by the late 2010s is when I really started to figure out like, okay, this is how I want to approach music. This is my style. This is my sound. So definitely the last 6 years have been incredible comparatively to the first, let's say, what, I guess like the first 10 years.
You can almost see too, like in this stuff, you can actually see the confidence building too, right? Like as the albums, you
No,
get a little bit more, they get increasingly more creative, but you can almost tell like you kind of settle into like a confidence and accept kind of like all right, this is who I am as an artist. And that happens in like somewhere about the middle of the catalog. You can feel you kind of like settle into a spot where you're like, yeah, this is my lane. This is it right here.
no,
That's why those like last two albums are like you can see the jump, you know?
fuck yeah. Like that's what I want to hear. You know what I mean?
Now is there a real life parallel there? Like were you trying to figure it out at those points of the catalog, like in your personal life as well?
Oh, I would say yeah, always. I would say always so,
Yeah.
even though it's not, it probably a lot of times it's not like directly
Mhm.
expressed.
Right. So
Maybe in this,
you were always like super confident. It's just like I guess the skill set had to catch up to the confidence type thing.
oh, 100%. Well, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
In myself, yes, always extremely super confident that this is something that I could do, that I could be good at, that I was like meant to do, and I want to work to be great at it, right? But yeah, no, like the skill set and the art and the quality and the consistent execution of it, that definitely that took years for sure. I mean, when I started out rapping, I seriously had no sense of, it's like I could keep time and I knew what meter was, right? But for whatever reason, when I was rapping, I couldn't really keep rhythm like that. So like rhythm was something that I had to really develop and work on. Like I always had a sense of rhythm. It just expressed through poetry over beats. It just wasn't there for years, you know? Like, and still sometimes I break form and flow a lot. So
Like sometimes it looks like you're just playing with them. You know, like you'll rhyme an odd meter and then start the rhyme scheme on like an off number, right? So most people they do it in twos or fours, you know.
right, right.
But you'll like rhyme maybe like seven in a row. The eighth bar won't rhyme with the previous seven. You know, I'm like really like nerding out, so I apologize for
No,
my.
no, no. This
I
is dope.
apologize to the
I'm having a
listeners.
great time.
They have to like bear with me nerding out on music right now. But yeah, so you'll
Right.
have like you'll have like 7 lines that'll rhyme like in the rhyme scheme. The eighth one won't rhyme, but that line will start the next 8, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, I do actually do that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Now that you've explained it that way, I definitely do that.
it's tough to do that well. Yeah, because your ear, you want to hear the rhyme scheme resolve on an even number, like on a
Mhm.
4 or on like an 8, usually. You know, so. But yeah, you do that a couple times. I'm like, he's out here just toying with him, man. Like he's just having
Cool.
fun with it, man.
Well, and from a technical standpoint, I'm always trying to really challenge myself and I guess make something that I haven't heard,
Hmm.
which maybe is a little too ambitious. And sometimes I just end up making some garbage. But
No. Well, here's the thing. You don't want to be taking all layups either, too. Like you want jump shots on the album,
there
you
we
know.
go. That's a
When
great
when,
analogy.
when
Yeah.
everything's just safe, you know, like you can tell when somebody's playing it safe. You know, they have a lane, but like I'm gonna give you the dance song, I'm gonna give you the hard song, I'll give you the deep song, I'll give you the pop song, put a bow on it. Here's the album, and it charts. You know,
Right.
I
Right.
like it when I can tell that like an artist is taking a risk. Like this one landed, but I see what he's trying to do here. You know.
Thank you. Thank you. I definitely artistically taking risks. That's for
Yeah.
sure.
100%.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. Give me an idea because your output is pretty crazy. Like your like the way that your content stacks up and the quality of it. About how much time a week are you devoting to like putting together projects, recording versus content?
Great question. I'll tell you right now, not enough. This 9 to 5 is definitely a lot right now, but as much as I possibly can. So it's like my 5 to 9, you know. But I would say I'm trying to at least right now, like probably like 10 to 20 hours a week
Yeah.
on visual projects. most of the time just spent like I got to figure out time when to like get in front of the camera and perform, or just like when am I going to write to more beats? You know what I mean?
Yeah. How are you coming across your beats? Are you producing? Or you have engineers?
Oh no. I mean I've produced some beats like in my time of pursuing hip hop, but no, I enjoy working with producers. I enjoy working with engineers. I enjoy, you know, paying people for their craft. There's a few different producers that I work with, pretty much one engineer. And yeah, I mean, I don't really have any intention of like making my own production anytime soon. Maybe if it comes to like, if it comes to that, then I will, you know, I'll start learning really and like delving into the craft of beat making. But no, I mean, right now
Anybody in Chicago, any engineers you want to shout out real quick? Because the beats on your albums are nasty.
Thank you. Well, firstly, shout out Jeff Aronson over at Classic Studios, my engineer for a number of years. He's phenomenal. He's amazing. He's worked on a lot of people's stuff. He's very high quality. So shout out Jeff Aronson. He's no longer Chicago based. He's now Arizona based, but Joey Bandino has a lot of the beat placements on All Blues and Yellows. I think, no, not Booterix, but Joey Bandino does have a few records on All Blues and Yellows. So shout out him. And then shout out Bane, who did produce Booterix out of Indianapolis area. And Mike Nappi actually produced the last record on All Blues and Yellows called Azure. And that's probably my most introspective record. It's like an old school kind of soulful beat.
Shout out Mike Nappi, my guy.
And so shout out Mike Nappi.
Yeah. Little Delaware County love, the Mike
Nappi.
Nappi.
Absolutely. So, and that's one of my favorite records personally. Like the production just fits around perfectly with what I'm doing.
He's like an odd talent, Mike Nappi.
Like he's
like you take all the things he's good at and the things that he's like the sixth good at. Most people aren't that good at their first thing.
Yeah,
like,
he's
out of control.
Got so many in his arsenal.
Yeah,
just so much in his arsenal.
Yeah, you got a deep bag. Yeah,
like making really amazing beats is one thing, but it's like making amazing beats and then, you know, he can rap fast. Oh, he can make you laugh your ass off with video after video skits. You know what I'm saying? Like singing, guitar playing. So it's just like,
we're only about 40 minutes away from each other too. Yeah.
Oh, that's fire. That's fire. Well, that's dope. That's dope to see that the community over there is definitely vibrant.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Hell yeah.
Absolutely. Well, we all got to connect too, man. Like to see the internet and the music scene connecting all of us together, man. We'll figure it out though. So let's talk our wish list, right? Obviously you work with a lot of local guys. What is your dream collaboration? If you could do a song with anybody?
Well, I do want that Twista verse. That would be nice.
Shout out Twista. We need that. We need that verse.
That would be amazing. You know, honestly, I have a lot. I feel like there's a lot of those because I am really a fan of everybody. But I would also put Tech Nine as a dream collab. That would definitely be amazing.
Underrated guy. As far as being like a wordsmith and an MC, like people don't know how good he is.
He's just one of the greats, you know. So Twista and Tech Nine. Those are like my givens. Like if I could work with The Faint from Omaha, Nebraska, which is a band that like my sister's like connected to a little bit, like that would be amazing.
That would be cool.
I guess just
I'd see a rock collab with you. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, like a rock collab would be tight.
Yeah, dude, like hearing your style over like organic instruments, that'd be dope.
Thank you. And then I mean, I don't know, like I mean, obviously, like I feel like I'd fit with a lot of Midwest choppers for sure. You know, like whoever we're talking about. But I feel like I'd fit with other styles of music. And yeah, like what else are my dream collabs? I mean, some just feel out of reach. You know what I mean? It's just like, you know what I mean? So
that's why it's a dream collab.
Yeah, of course. But no, I mean, you know, Nas. I mean, Nas would be crazy. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because he's still. Yeah. I mean, like just with the clips. I mean, like rapping next to Pusha T would be insane. You know what I mean? Like there's, I mean,
dude, they're on fire right now.
Right. I mean, you know.
So with regards to your evolution as an artist, how do you think expanding your family changed your perspective as an artist? Because I know you recently had a son, recently got married.
That's a great question. I think I'm not so like hungry to be like in the industry. You know what I mean? I feel like starting my family has really like kind of changed my mindset. It's like I really just care about like making the best product possible in terms of the music and like developing my skill set, like with the rap and like the lyricism. And other than that, just like, you know, making sure I have like stability with income, right? But in terms of like having this like anxiety or this like, oh, I gotta like get on like and get this collab to get on or do this to get on or get radio to get on. Like I'm really kind of that mindset kind of has shifted more so to just I'm just gonna like, you know, put out content, put out the music and not really worry so much about like tangible results, I guess. And really just enjoy things more.
And yeah, I could see that. I guess because the scene and the worldly validation becomes less important because you're kind of living for your family, so to speak.
Mhm.
So the idea that like I need to be like propped up by strangers' approval kind of starts to melt away a little bit the closer you get to like your family and a more domesticated
Yeah,
life.
yeah, no, that's like that's a perfect way to describe it. I mean, very ambitious, don't get me wrong, but I don't
Sure.
have this like go get 'em attitude to be at like the top of the industry or to like to whatever imaginary place I think is there so fast. You know, I'm definitely a lot more calm with just like a very slow growth, a very slow, like just calm and steady, just, you know,
Yeah.
with like with how you think about a career, you know what I mean?
Well, even as an artist too, when you like when you set those goals, like I feel like you almost like move the goalpost on yourself. You know, like especially like when
Wow,
you're younger,
yeah.
I'm gonna get 100 people. I'm gonna get 100 people to come out to a show, and then you get your 100 people, and before you can even celebrate, you're like, it really wasn't even that full. I'm gonna get 300 at the next show. You know, and then you're like, you know, and then before you can even celebrate, this great performance you had, you're like, how many tickets did we do at the door? How much merch did we sell? And it's like you don't even, and it's like you just keep like it's just never,
Yeah.
But I feel like the older you get, you can let the art kind of like sit by itself. You're like,
Yeah.
well, no, I just made really cool music. I just made really cool art. I just made, this video is actually like really cool. Check out this video I made. I never spoke like that when I was in my 20s making music.
Yeah. No, definitely when I was, 10 years ago, completely different. I would have answered that question. Like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be famous by 23 or something. It's like, yeah,
Yeah,
no.
right.
So
All right, so fast forward 16, 17 years. You have your son comes to you and he's like, I want to do music. And you're like, yeah, great. And he's like, no, I'm going to like leave high school and like do music full time. What do you tell him?
yeah, no, I mean, he's got to stay in school. But I mean, if he wanted to do music that badly, hopefully like before he's 16, 17, like he's already in something, I guess, that's like some type of musical structure. But no, I would definitely support it. I'd probably have a hard time not being like so like I'd probably want to be so hands-on that it would be like annoying to him. You know what I mean? Because it's like all
Yeah.
my experience and what I know, what I've been through. And so like you have to navigate this
Sure.
way and do it all like this. So I would try not to be too much like that, but probably, try to steer him in the right direction. But I wouldn't be against it. But the content would also have to not be like ridiculous too. You know?
Son, you can do music. It can't be ridiculous.
Yeah, but no, I would support it. That's a great question. That's a great question.
Cool, man. So obviously with regard to your family, how is it? Because I know that you have a podcast as well, the Duke and Duchesses. With your wife, can I say her name on?
Candace or Candace Elise. She goes by
Yeah,
Candace Elise.
shout out Candace Elise. Did check out a couple episodes. Guys have great chemistry.
Thank you.
You can actually see the podcast getting better from episode to episode.
Oh, thank you.
I think you just crusted double digits. I think you have like 10 or 11.
Not
10
yet.
or 11
We still need to drop our 10th episode. Actually,
10th,
we've got
All right, so you were like
we've got
right there.
9 published right now on the YouTube. But
Yeah.
we're close. We're close to that 10th episode, which is a lot of podcasts don't apparently even get. Yeah, like that's like a statistic or something. Like
If you have 10 episodes and released one in the last 3 weeks, I think you're ahead of like 90% of people doing podcasts or something like that.
no
Something like that.
shit.
I forget how they worded it. Like if you have 10 episodes and one released recently, you're ahead of like 90% of people.
That's amazing. That's motivating. I like that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's all about the consistency. But no, I'm like when I watch you guys, like on the podcast together, you guys remind me of like that cool couple you get drunk with on vacation. You know, where you feel like you just
definitely. No, that's dope. I appreciate
that. They sit like near you on the boardwalk, and next thing you know, you're shooting a breeze and everything.
Hell
like
yeah.
you kind of invite people in like really effortlessly, and you guys talk about cool stuff too. Like you just feel like you're like eavesdropping on a cool couple. So
thank you.
If that's the vibe you were going for, you're successful.
Yeah, just casual, I guess, for sure. And just trying to have a good time, but like I guess talk about the current events that we find important. For sure.
Absolutely. One topic that you touched on, talking about the rise of like technology and using AI and how it coincides and how you use it to create art. What is your take on that? Like, how much is too much? Like, is it okay? Obviously, it's okay to use AI to write an email. Is it okay to use AI to write a song? Is it okay to use AI to write a 16 and then pass it off as your verse? Like, where do you draw the line with artificial intelligence in music? Or is there no line? Use the tech for what it's there for.
Yeah, that's a great question. I feel, like use the tech for what it's there for. But don't use AI to exploit or to cut people out. You know what I mean? So like but that's hard though, because it's like, okay, what do you mean by cut people out? Like, because if you did a visual with AI, then it's like you didn't hire a videographer. But I guess what I mean, like, don't cut people out. Like with the whole Timbaland controversy recently, where he like and he ends up collaborating with an artist from his live streams and then using her voice, and he like runs it through his AI program, and then he starts like manipulating it in ways on his live stream and like showing it to his fans. And she didn't exactly understand if she like consented to that fully or what was going on. So that's like a big thing right now. So yeah, I'm like, honestly, I'm very conflicted. But I just don't think you should use AI to exploit anybody. And I don't think you should use AI to cut anybody out. But I think the cutting people out part is like, well, I feel like that's a spectrum. And like, what are you talking about? Because again, somebody could point to my work and say, well, you used AI here and here, therefore you cut out this tradesman and this tradesman. Right. Technically, I guess. That's a great question, though. I love talking about AI.
Is there a part of it that says, well, what about in the 80s if they said, well, you're using a drum machine, which means you cut out a drummer? You know? Like, are we at the forefront of technology that's just going to happen anyway? You know? Do I want to hire 10 dancers, or am I going to get 10 avatars in the background so I don't have to pay 10 dancers?
Right.
You know?
No, literally. I think, no. That no Scotsman fallacy is a great point, though, because at what point in history are people not pointing to the new technology and like essentially saying that you're not as authentic because you're doing this or whatever? And I mean, the reality is there's going to be those that use AI in ways that I can't even imagine, and then they're going to win in the marketplace of art, right? And I don't know if that shouldn't freak anybody out, because then you're just not you're not thinking about your own art and craft in the right way. But I guess me personally, I decided not to just be so anti-AI. I decided to lean into it and learn it so that I could expand, what I'm doing.
Yeah, I can get behind that. And I think the true art will rise to its top, because at the end of the day, I think authenticity always wins, right?
100%.
If 100 people use AI, 90 of them will still look like something fabricated through AI. And the people that rise to the top will be the people that use it in an innovative way, which is kind of artistic.
Right? Yeah. Well, and I think like when I think about it as like if everybody's using AI and doing things this way, then like kind of adding on to what you just said, it's like, then like if you don't use AI or you do it differently, then it's like what you're doing kind of, it separates itself and it stands out. It's like everybody's afraid of AI doing this and that, but then it's like, well, if you pay attention to social media, like so many people are using AI in a very homogenous, singular, similar way, right? And then if you just differentiate yourself a little bit from that, like whatever.
Right.
the fans will know if you're faking it. So it's like if everything that I did was just AI, then obviously like you show up to a show and I can't rap out. If I can't actually rap, you know what I mean, then that's a problem.
Right. Yeah.
So no, I agree with you. I think the real ones will just use it to accentuate.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's actually, I was actually going to use that word as well. Like I feel like it'll accentuate the authentic person way. And if you're just like a crappy artist or unoriginal, it'll just kind of illuminate that. And you'll be like, oh,
right.
he's doing an impression of this. You know what I mean? This is just watered down Pusha T, or this is just a Timbaland beat reworked through a, you know what I mean? Like you'll be able to tell, you know, which is why artists I think music in particular still needs to be propped up by the narrative. And so the people with the best stories still tend to like stay, like rise at the top. There's some exceptions, you know what I mean? But there's a reason why 50 Cent sold more albums than Nas, who's clearly a more tactical lyricist. But 50 Cent's story was so provocative. It was huge, you know?
Yeah. Like the background of what 50 Cent went through, of course. Yeah, it's very, very provocative. And yeah, that's record selling.
Right. So I think that the narrative and the person will always trump, regardless of what the technology is. I think the person and the narrative will always prop up the music, and the best story and the best skill will always sit at the top, no matter what the technology is.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of the next wave too, another question I like to ask is like, if we're trying to peek around the corner, it feels like a new genre kind of gets pushed to the forefront like every 4 or 5 years. I feel like country had like a big resurgence like over the last like 5 years or so. And there might be a few pulls left on that cigar, but I feel like there's like another wave of music that's about to start happening. And I'm not exactly sure what it's going to be. If you had to guess, what's the next genre that you think is going to be pushed to the forefront?
Hopefully old head, hyper lyricist type shit. You know what I mean? With
wishful thinking. Feels like that, right?
You know, as I age, it's like, and then I hear clips.
Yeah,
and then
all the best rappers of all time are like in their 50s.
Right. That's like the very wishful thinking. I mean, I still think women rappers are just going to dominate still for probably another 5 years, like they have since like 2018. I feel like women rappers have just been, because now there's so much more space for like, and different types of female rappers as well. Like there's a plethora, a very spectrum, a lot of space for them in the industry. And they've been killing it.
I can see that.
But I don't know if that's the next wave necessarily. That's just like kind of what I've noticed trending.
I have a theory.
Go ahead, because I'm not sure.
And I'm totally speculating too. I have like no data to back this up.
Sure.
But it feels like, I feel like music happens in almost like quarter centuries kind of, you know? So like 60s music, and then 60s music is big. And then that like retro 60s sound got really big, like Amy Winehouse, Bruno Mars, about 25, 30 years later. Right. And then like, for instance, like the really electro, like 80s stuff. And then like in like later like that like synthy pop sound came up about 25 years later. So now I'm looking at like, all right, if I went back 25 years, it's almost like that. I think there's about to be like a pop punk resurgence. You know what I mean? Just like angsty, loud, you know, like almost garagey, like a pop punk, like really accessible, like short, simple, but like really just fun songs, you know, colorful, big hair, you know, metal belts, you know, like.
Yeah, if we could have a resurgence of a lot of late 80s, early 90s, mid 90s type of that, I mean, that would be amazing musically.
We'll get like a few like Green Days, or like the female version of like a Sum 41, you know what I mean? Like 3-piece band, just all three of them with like attitudes and personality, you know, like that kind of like give me like the 2025 version of that.
Well, and it's interesting too, because it's 2025, and you know, if you're a 90s baby, you grew up on some good music, but then a lot of like famous people of my peer group, like they don't make as good of music, you know, like at that famous level, they don't make as good as music as what they grew up on. Right. So when is that kind of going to like slingshot back into like a, whoa, now, you know, I mean, I don't know.
Well, that I think that's subjective, because you've got to think about what's going on in your life. Like the music I was listening to when I like graduated high school and I'm driving my hoopty to like my first days at like college, the first year, and I'm getting out and I'm just starting to drink and everything. The music I was playing then, nothing's going to be better than that music. You know what I mean? Just because like those were like formative memories. You know,
nostalgia too. Like, nostalgia is a huge factor.
Like I remember those dirty bars. I remember the bars that didn't card. I remember those first couple girlfriends right after high school. You know, that's just like a pocket of time. And the soundtrack to that period is just going to be the best music, you know, by default.
Right.
You know, yes, there's going to be there's going to be amazing artists that come after that. But like we're going to have this like sentimentality for the music that we love between like 16 and 25, you know?
No, the attachment, 100%. Absolutely.
Yeah. That's why, you know, I think anyway. And also, I could be very wrong, you know?
Yeah. I mean, no, I think that's pretty accurate though.
So are you going to continue with the podcast? Can we count on more episodes from you?
Yeah. Once we move, we'll bring the podcast back up. And other than that, I mean, I've kind of taken a hiatus from shows for a little bit because of this 9 to 5 that I'm working. But yeah, I mean, I'm just going to continue to roll out this project and then try to be consistent with more music on the horizon. But other than that, just see where it takes me, you know?
Yeah, man. So the biggest thing for us to look forward to as people that want to support you is all blues and yellows. Like that's going to be like the big release.
Yes.
That we can look forward to from you.
Absolutely. So July 27th, all blues and yellows drops on all platforms. But you can go check out the project right now in single form if you just want to go through the Spotify. And then just there because I don't have it on Bandcamp or even or anything like that. But yeah, July 27th, all blues and yellows. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it.
All right. And what's the best way for us to support you, man? Is there merch, anything for us to check out? Anything else that we can do to just stay plugged in with you?
Thank you for asking. Okay, so www.wilhelmduke.com/shop is my merch store. Definitely check it out. I got a lot of interesting, different things going on my merch store. Or you can join my YouTube memberships, which you can actually listen to the full album right now if you join my YouTube membership. So that's an incentive there. But yeah, everywhere, Wilhelm Duke. And I hope your viewers check me out for sure.
Absolutely, man. I for one, I enjoyed watching the progression of your music as I went through the catalog. I'm going to enjoy watching you put out projects. I hope you and I stay connected for a very, very long time.
100%.
We get a chance to maybe even connect in person.
I'm definitely going to be shooting you music in the future for sure.
Oh, fantastic, man. Thank you. And I appreciate you. I know how busy you are with your family and everything, so I appreciate you taking your time to connect with me on the show. So please, you have fans in Philly, man. Whenever you want to come on the show, promote your stuff, or just have a conversation, please. You got fans here, man.
Thank you, Julian. For real, thank you. A very refreshing conversation, and you definitely reset me, let me know that I'm on the right track. So I appreciate that for sure.
Awesome. And the rest of you, thank you so much for tuning into Loves Music. Make sure you check out the Loves Music playlist. I'll be adding some Wilhelm Duke jams there for you to check out. And I'll see y'all next Thursday. Thank you.